Welcome to Awakening Souls,
a spiritual podcast for the mystics, magical thinkers, sensitives, and spiritual seekers.
We are here to explore all things spiritual, from navigating your awakening, developing your psychic gifts, and so much more.
Together, with our combined experiences, we hope to help guide you on your path to reconnecting with your soul and the beautiful life that comes after.
So come join us on the magical journey of exploring your
Awakening Souls.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Awakening Souls podcast. Today, what we're talking about is flower essences. And that is something that recently I just learned about. And so we've all been experimenting and playing with them. And so we're just going to talk about how they work, the history behind them, and our own experiences. So welcome.
Hi, everybody. It's good to be back.
Yeah. So Ashley was the one that really first discovered flower essences or happened upon them. So Ashley, how did you come upon them and what do you know?
Okay, so much like other things that happen, like one day I will be just going about my business, and a thought will just like drop into my head. And this day, the thought that dropped into my head was, why are we not eating flowers? Which is a little strange, but it really made me think, because we eat so much else that grows and we eat herbs. And I was like, why are we not eating flowers? Like, is there some magical property they hold that that would help us, and that's why we're taught to stay away from them? Like, of course that's like conspiratorial, but that's kind of where my mind went. I was like, why is this not a thing? Like, they grow in abundance everywhere. Why don't we eat them? So then I Googled it and I came across flower essence. And of course, you can eat a lot of different types of flowers. Some you can't, so you do have to be careful, like with anything. But I loved the idea of the flower essence because, one, you can easily get it all year round. And two, they have it so clearly marked as to what flowers and what plants do what and what you should take them for. And so there's a company called Bach, and supposedly that's the company that started the whole flower essence trend. Now, I mean, I definitely want to give credit where credit is due. However, I have a feeling that this has been something that's been around for such a long time. So I'll just tell you, according to the Bach website, this was created by a man named Dr. Edward Bach. He was a British physician. And what I think is really cool about him is this was all the way back in, I want to say, I feel like I read the 1930s somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a physician, and he started to see disease as an end product. And he wanted to be able to find a cure and to find healing far before we needed like a end diagnosis, if that makes sense. Okay, so he started working with flowers and different kinds of plants, and he really started using them to help remove unhelpful emotions, which is a lot of what we do.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what it targets, really. I think that's the true essence of it. It works to use the high vibration of the plant to raise your vibration so that anything lower has to go. And that's the way I view it. So people see success using these for stress, anxiety, some sleeping. I mean, there's literally, it's almost kind of so fun to go in and see all the different little bottles and all the different little like labels, and you just like pick what you need, because there's like, have hope, calm the mind, be optimistic. There's just a ton of them. So I thought it was really fun to see like, what are the options? What can I choose? And the ingredients are so simple. So I get the ones that are vegan, the non-alcohol formula, because I'm not interested in having that in my body. And so the ingredients, like this one's Be Optimistic. It is sweet chestnut, and then the preservative is glycerin, which actually comes from a sunflower, and then purified water. So super simple.
Yeah.
What else? Go ahead.
Well, during my research, I was fascinated by this stuff. So, first, you brought it up to us and I was like, oh, well, what's another like essential oil gonna do? That was kind of my thought. And then I started taking it, and one, it's not even an essential oil, because the way that it's produced is there is no actual plant product in there. So this was based off of like a modality that they did back in like the 1800s, and even in ancient Egypt times, there was stuff in the scriptures about having flower essence to help release emotions. So you were totally right. It does go far back in history. But the process was that they would lay like this special kind of cloth over the flowers at night so that the dew would collect onto the cloth. And then they would take the cloth off the flowers in the morning and wring out the water and then drink the water. So the water is adopting all of the characteristics and properties of these plants. And I mean, it goes into intuitive aspects of it, because I believe I was reading that someone used to like run their hands over the plants and would just know through intuition, like, this is going to help me release X, Y, and Z. This is what this plant is meant to do. So they would take the water and then use it to prescribe it to release certain emotions. So it has absolutely no plant product in it whatsoever. It really is just the water and the characteristics of the plants, which is amazing and almost sounds like made up and magical. But if you think about it, if you've learned about water and if you've watched Frozen, you've heard Olaf say, water holds memory. And it's so true. The water, depending on what it's exposed to, depending on the vibrations and the intention around the water, you can change and shift the properties of the water and the characteristics. So the water will adapt and change to whatever it's told to adapt and change to. And it's told to adapt and change to the health properties that flowers hold. And so when you take it, it helps release those certain emotions. It does. It changes the vibration of your body. So if your dominant emotion is, I don't know, one of stress and overwhelm, by taking something like flower essence that will help shift the vibration, you are kind of, it can happen really quickly or it can unfold really slowly, depending on, I think, how ingrained this emotion is. It can start to unfold and release the emotions that you're holding onto that are of stress and overwhelm, and start to raise your vibration so you feel more joy, calm, and peace. Is that making sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah. So, I mean, my experience with it, I bought the one that is elm, and it says be more efficient. And really it was for somebody who is stressed and overwhelmed. And I didn't think I needed it. Oh, I was looking through the list. There's like 38 that Bach has. And I was looking through the list. And I was like, don't need it. Don't need it. I'm so good. I need none of it. Well, I was wrong. So by taking the Be Efficient one, I was finding that I was incredibly overwhelmed and stressed at certain points, which is not my normal attitude. By taking this, though, you put a couple drops on your tongue, and within 20 minutes, I was like, what's stress? What am I upset about? Like, I can get through this easy breezy, beautiful cover girl. There's no issue here. And then I was happy for the rest of the day. And I was like, oh my God, we found something. This is amazing.
Yeah. No, I know. I too, when I first got them, I was like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I love the concept. I love flowers, obviously, but yeah, we'll see. Same. Like, I started taking the Be Optimistic one when my dog was dying. And I honestly, I mean, of course it was sad and I felt all the things, but like overwhelmingly, I did just feel very optimistic the whole time. Like, so I mean, I think that was a true test. That was a pretty low moment. And it really truly made me feel so much better. So much better. What's your guys' experience?
Well, I got the focus. It's clematis. Is that how you say it? The flower. And I haven't really had much of a chance to use it.
She forgot to focus on taking focus.
Yeah, yeah. I haven't been able to focus on taking it yet. But I did take it right before we started our episode today. So I'll let you know as time goes by.
At the end, we need to check in with you and find out.
Yes, I'll be hyper focused by then.
Okay.
Because I took 2 dropperfuls. We'll see.
Oh, that's funny. How about you, Rose?
Have been taking, okay, I gotta look at it. Okay, it is called Accept Imperfections. So it's like to let go of perfectionism, which is something I really struggle with. And so I just was taking like 2 dropperfuls every morning, and I've been doing that every day for, oh, I don't know, a couple weeks now. And so last week we had to paint our garage, the inside of the garage. And I went out there and I painted in a way I've never painted before. I'm very meticulous, I'm slow, make sure that everything is perfect. And I was just slapping paint on everywhere. Like, let's just get this done. I am not interested in spending forever painting the garage. It was hot. And my husband was like, what's up with you? You're painting so fast. I'm like, I don't know. We just need to get this done. I'm like, I think it's working. And then the next day, I have a doctor's appointment coming up. And so I need to get an x-ray for it. And they texted me, you need to come in and get an x-ray. And so I scheduled it right away to get it done. And I went to the hospital with my grungy clothes on, with my legs not shaven, wearing shorts. And that is so not me. Like, if I'm going to the hospital, I'm taking the full shower, I shave my legs, but I'm like, I don't care. This is fine. They won't care. And of course, they didn't. So I'm definitely noticing in some areas of my life that I am not doing all of those almost obsessive kind of things to make sure everything is exactly perfect as I think others would expect. So
Mhm.
that's been really, really good for me.
Wow.
That's really good.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to understand all this. So the frequency, the vibration frequency of the flower, each flower contains like a different frequency, right? Is that what it is?
Mhm.
And then you introduce it into your body and the frequency that's going on in there. And so the frequency of the flower kind of takes over. Is that the whole?
That's kind of the theory.
Okay. I'm just trying to make sense of it all.
Yeah, I mean, I'm no scientist and I don't actually know. It really does focus on the subtle energy, which as energy healers, we're always focused on the subtle energy.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that there's science out there yet who can detect and confirm that, oh, yeah, this is for sure changing the subtle energy body. But I mean, whether it's placebo effect or not, it's working. So it's almost like, yeah, maybe it does have an actual real effect on our energy bodies and it's changing the frequency. But more than that, if you're believing that it's working, then it is working.
Mm-hmm.
And then you happen to be the one changing your energy and your frequency.
I like that.
Well, if you think about
So
it, a
either
lot
way,
of
it's
what
good.
we do is setting intentions. And by focusing on a certain flower, we're setting the intention that I want to incorporate this characteristic in my life. And so it's like a physical act to help you manifest what you want to manifest.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What I love about this is honestly the water portion. I just think it's the most fascinating part to me. I was in the car researching this on our way to a funeral, and I'm like so passionate about it, talking to my husband. I'm like, don't you find this amazing? And he's like, I don't have the same passion for it that you do. But yeah, it's super cool. But back to memory and water holds memory. So there was we talk about this when we teach Reiki classes. Dr. Emoto, he did research on water and like the memory that water holds. And in each petri dish, he would put in a droplet of water, and then he would say certain words to the water, because our words hold certain frequencies. Our words, with the intention that we have behind those words, can create, changes in frequencies. So he would say things like really negative things like, I hate you, or you fool, or I'll kill you, or something like that. And then he would go freeze these dishes, and the water would crystallize into these dysmorphed forms that looked chaotic and oftentimes looked like the words that he was saying. Like when you'd say, I kill you, it looked like the water froze into a person holding a weapon. And then he would do the opposite, and say things like, I love you and thank you, and then freeze those dishes. And the water would crystallize into the most beautiful, symmetrical crystals that looked like snowflakes. So he's showing us that our words, our intentions hold certain vibrations and frequencies that actually can affect us. So the water was holding the memory of the words that he was saying to it. He wasn't physically changing the water. He was just speaking to the water.
And our bodies are what? Made of what, 90% of water? Is that what it is?
Like 75 or something like that. Yeah.
No wonder when someone talks to you and they have hateful words coming at you, no wonder you feel that all day long.
The things you're exposing yourself to, the way that you're talking to yourself, the things that you're thinking, the food that we're eating, think about the kind of vibration that food is holding.
Especially if someone who made it was like, oh, I'm so angry.
You ever have a meal from someone who is like really resentful and making the meal, and that meal tastes like garbage? Pay attention.
Have I ever made a meal like that tasted like garbage to you?
Wow.
Oh God. Oh no. Tell me more later. Tell me later.
Did anyone happen to see the video I posted on the Sanctuary Instagram story about the man who was doing the cymatic like energy layering thing? Okay, I'm going to do probably not a great job of explaining this, but it is fascinating. So this man is using like computer technology to, okay, have you all like seen when you take like a plate and you place like sound, and then the sound creates the frequency to move like the sand on the plate and create like a
pattern, right?
Yeah, pattern. Yes, perfect. So he's using this in like a software technology that's creating like these Mandela patterns. And then he like layers them through the computer into like a 3D like shape, and they make up human faces.
What? I want to see this.
Hang on, let
Wow.
me his name, because it is unbelievable to see. Okay, the guy's name on Instagram is P as in Paul, V as in Victor, RELLIS. And he's got a couple of these videos, and they just have like faces, and then he explains it, and it's just amazing.
So he's using sound vibrations and layering it with a technology that creates faces.
Yeah,
So I mean, our faces
makes it
hold
3D.
certain vibrations.
No, so it basically illustrates that we are energy, we are frequency, we are vibration, we're fluid, we just perceive ourselves as solid. That's what it's like showing us.
That's cool. Does that mean then if we change our vibration or frequency, we can change our facial structure?
You know what? I think that there is some truth to that, because I, for a while, was doing this meditation okay, don't judge me.
We don't judge. Come on.
I know. I'm just telling everybody. I was doing this meditation to reverse aging. And like I really just believe that your mind is so powerful, and whatever you believe becomes truth. Like, I also remember when I was in maybe high school. Okay, so like growing up, I was just never the pretty girl. I was so awkward. I was so awkward. And I just always wanted to be, I just wanted to be beautiful. And so I remember when I went to high school, I was still super awkward. And I remember all my friends were getting asked to go to dances. And I was like, not ever, never getting asked to go to a dance. And I felt like the ugly, strange duckling for so many reasons. And I remember literally thinking to myself over and over, like, please let me be beautiful. I just want to be beautiful. Like, and honestly, it was so weird, you guys. Like, that was like me not knowing what manifestation was, but me working with manifestation consciously for the first time. And I remember I literally was going for a walk with one of my friends that I had known since childhood. And she randomly was like, you've gotten like really beautiful over the past couple of months. And I'm like, really? And I really do think I started to physically change. And I don't know, but I just really think that we can alter our appearance based on our thoughts. So that's a really embarrassing story. You're welcome, podcast. But it's the truth. It's the truth. And I know that sounds really shallow, but that was the teenage me. And I think a lot of teenage kids feel like that. So
I used to pray for curly hair every day. I'd be like, I just want curly hair. I just want curly hair. And you can't tell, but I have curly hair now.
Oh yeah, she's got curly hair. Yeah. And which
see,
is baloney, because both my parents had curly hair, and you know what I got? Straight.
But our hair looks similar today, so you can't tell.
But that shows the power of, well, one, the flower essence, the power that you have, the belief that you have behind the power of these flowers, behind the food that you're consuming, but also everything that you're doing in your life, how you're speaking to yourself, what things you're exposing yourself to, what kind of music are you listening to, what kind of movies are you watching. Like, it all has an effect on the way that we perceive ourselves in our inner world. And if we can change and shift the way that we see ourselves, the rest of the world is kind of forced to change and shift the way they see us. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so there's a lot of power behind intention and behind thought.
So I was doing some research with this because I love cooking, and I'm like, well, can you make your own?
Oh yeah.
And so that's what I was looking into this morning, and they are so easy to make. It
Oh,
is
really?
freaking easy.
See, Ashley, I told you. You should be making your own. And you're like, no, it sounds so hard.
it does.
Well,
Okay.
and maybe there's different methods, but the method that I saw, that I looked at, was super easy. And I loved this method because it was very connecting with nature along with creating the flower essence. So the recommendation from this person was to, if you want to make your own, to first go find the flowers you want to pick, sit down and commune with them. And it's like you just sit and you energetically, say hi, and you thank them for being there and you send them loving energy. And then you ask them, would it be okay if I picked a few of you? And then you intuitively decide if, not decide, sense if they're giving you a yes or a no. And of course, you want to respect the answer. So if you get a yes, you can go ahead and pick a few. And they're like, always leave some, don't take everything.
Mhm.
Um, and just take a bowl. It can be a glass bowl or a crystal bowl, was the recommendation, and use either like purified water or spring water. And you just place the flowers into the bowl. And then you set the bowl either in the sun or the moon for an extended amount of time. And with which one you use will determine the energy that goes into the flower essence. So if you put it in the sun, you're getting more vital life force energy, more activating, more energetic. And if you put it in the moonlight, you get more intuitive, receptive, and mystery elements into the flower essence, which I thought was really
Mhm.
interesting. And she recommended that you leave it in the sun for like a day, and that was it, or the moon overnight. A full moon, I'm guessing, would be really, really good, but I don't know. That's just my own thought. And then after that, you just remove the flowers, give them back to Mother Earth with thanks, and you take the water and you mix it in a 50-50 solution with whatever preservative you want. And so, like, alcohol is one, and the plus with alcohol is it'll last longer. But if you don't want to use alcohol, she recommended either white or apple vinegar or glycerin, which is what you said, Ashley. These the professional ones were made with, and then you store them and you start using them. And that sounded like really, really easy.
Yeah, it does. And I've got like three wildflower gardens that I could probably do that with. And Ashley, you've got an abundance of flowers. You could be making some for us.
Yes. Yeah, that doesn't sound that hard, really.
Uh-uh.
No, yeah, put the flowers in the sunlight for the day and some clean water in a clear glass, and then mix it with your preservatives.
I
So
love it. How do you get glycerin? Where do you get glycerin from? Do
You
have
can
to
buy
get
it
that?
online.
Oh, I was gonna say, do you have to have a sunflower to do that? I've got one. I don't know how to extract that though.
me neither. But yeah, it definitely sounds like it would be something fun to try. And I'm wondering if
Mhm.
there would be a difference between using something made by somebody else and using something you created yourself, really communing with the flowers
Mhm.
and the water. I don't
Oh
know.
yeah.
Sounds
Oh
cool.
yeah. I want to know how a big company makes their flower essence.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I did research that with Bach, they are using like they do sun steeping with the flowers, and they take whatever dew and water had accumulated from the cloth that they put on the flowers and did the sun steeping, and then they bring it out.
I would just love to see what a big production that would be like, because
Oh yeah.
it's got to be huge. Yeah, huge
Let's
factory.
try.
Yeah, let's do it.
I don't know. When I was researching this, I was like, why does not every household have this? Why don't we have this in the shop? We are constantly
Yeah.
working with emotions, releasing emotions for people, helping them work through emotions, doing Reiki to raise their vibration and release the stagnant, stuck stuff. They could take this home and then they can have like a supplement to help them do that, their own work.
Yeah, I've been looking into it, but so far they only wholesale sell the alcohol-based formulas, and I'm just not into that.
Let's just make our own.
We
We
could.
we can sell our own sanctuaries, flower essence.
Oh.
I was thinking though, Rose, when you were talking about like connecting with the plants and what's the difference between you doing it versus a company doing it, I think Candace, we were teaching Reiki 1 to someone who was telling us that I feel like he said this is a shamanistic thing, but I could be wrong. When he plants his garden, he takes the seed. So, like, say he's planting tomatoes, he takes the tomato seed, places it I think he said under his tongue, and lets it like absorb his energy and then plants the seed. And that's like a common way that people put their energy into the plant so that the plant knows what to grow to provide for that person.
Oh,
That was pretty interesting. However, I will say some seeds are toxic and some seeds are poisonous. So please do your research before you try this. But I thought that was
good
cool.
to know. Yeah.
Have you ever heard of that, Rose? Because you dabble in some.
No. Yeah, I've done a few trainings in that, but no, I've never heard of that. But I love the idea of it's almost like you're asking for the plant's help.
Yeah.
Mhm. I wonder if just holding it in your hand would give it the same.
Or just saying thank you
Mhm.
to it,
Mhm.
you know, using words of affirmation, infusing it with good thoughts, good energy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There's another company, Amina Mundi, where does plant communication, and she talks about the different vibrations that plants hold. And she works a lot with adaptogens, and adaptogens are meant to go in and adapt to your body and do whatever the body needs. So if you're really high stressed all the time, the adaptogens go in there and they work with your energy and your physical body to, I guess, make you more calm. It, gives you what you need. And if the opposite is true and you're really calm all the time, then you are lacking energy or something, then it goes in and it works on your body to give you energy. So I wonder if putting the seed on your tongue is kind of like changing it to say, like, adapt to my body, adapt to what my body needs before planting it. Which would be an interesting way to start growing a garden. I don't know that I would feed those tomatoes to my neighbors, though, if my mouth has been on the seeds.
Why?
I
Not on the
know.
tomato.
I totally understand that, even though, like, yeah, there's no, it's
No.
totally fine, but it does like kind of weird me out a little bit. Did you guys get any other ones, or you just ordered one bottle of your
I
flower?
just Saturday I ordered 2 more because I deal with like confidence issues. So I got confidence and face your fears.
Make
So
it sound like a disease.
it
I
is.
deal with confidence.
It is a disease. So I'm really hoping that I get it very, very soon, because Saturday I'm going to be doing some card readings with you ladies. And that's one of the things I'm not very confident about. So
that will be interesting to see how that works for you.
Face your fears and confidence. Yeah, I'm ready for that.
Yeah. There's like,
Yeah.
I got one for restoring energy, and I'm a coffee drinker, so I don't honestly know how it worked. And I think that I constantly am struggling with my energy, which is why I drink so much coffee. And because I drink so much coffee, it could be why I'm struggling with my energy. It could be twofold there. But at first, when I was taking it, I was like, this isn't doing anything. I just need coffee, I need coffee, I need coffee. And I decided some of these flower essence will unfold slowly. I really think it depends on your dominant emotion and how ingrained that is. If you take it every day, it may slowly develop and start to help. And then other ones, I feel like with the stress and overwhelm, that's not a common emotion for me. So that one worked really quickly. It was able to change my vibration back to what, it feels normal to me. Energy, I'm always low on energy. So I feel like this is going to be a slow burn. But there was one day recently that I took it and I was like, you know what, just skip the afternoon coffee, take this, see what happens. And it was a subtle change, but I definitely felt it. I felt a little bit more alert, a little bit more alive, a little bit more awake, and I forgot about coffee.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
That is super cool. I might have to get that one.
Yeah.
There's been a couple.
What all do you have?
Okay. I got a lot because I don't know, it's like being in a candy store. I was like, ooh, add to cart. Which I advise against, because now that I have done more research. If you're getting the non-alcohol formulas, these ones don't last as long. So if you're going to order one, or if you're going to order some, order like 1 or 2 and stick with those, because they just don't last as long as the ones with stronger preservatives.
Do you know how long they last?
I want to say it was, oh, well, this one says it expires August. Wait, this one says
August 2026. What?
It's a really long time.
It is a long time.
But I read online, it was like, I want to say like a month. And I was like, a month? I'm not going to use all of this in a month. Because these like use 2 drops and it's a pretty big bottle.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Maybe the glycerin lasts longer than we thought.
Maybe it does. All right, order them all.
Yeah, why not?
Okay, so I got a Calm the Mind, which is a white chestnut, and it tastes good. It's like very sweet. I got one made of willow, that's Forgive and Forget. I got a sweet chestnut, which is the Be Optimistic. I got a honeysuckle, Embrace the New. I got a mustard one, which was Be Joyful. I got a gorse, which I don't know if I'm saying that right. I've never heard of that. And this one's Have Hope. And then I got one made out of vine that's called Motivate, Not Dominate, because I'm working on that.
Oh man, there was one I almost got for grief, for releasing the emotion of grief. And well, we know that we've been struggling with that a lot lately. So thought about maybe purchasing that. And then I asked my husband after, word vomiting and giving him a class of one-on-one class on flower essence against his will, if he would be interested in taking these too. And he was like, yeah, I think I could do that. So it's safe for children. It's safe for pets and things like that. Of course, I worry about like, well, are they going to be allergic to this herb or to this flower and we don't know it? But
Guess there's one way to find out.
Have an EpiPen on standby.
I read you could put it in like juice, coffee, smoothies too, so you don't just have to. I mean, I love the way it tastes. It tastes like honey to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're super easy to take.
Super easy.
Sometimes I do rub it on my wrist first because I get really freaked out too when I've never tried something. I always think like, I don't know, I'm home alone and I'm going to take this. I've never had it.
That's a really good idea though.
Little
I'm not sure if it would really if you would see irritation, but I like to believe that I would, and then I would know.
Yeah, you would. I think you would.
So do you think there's, if it's important to only do a certain number of them at a time? Or is it better to just pick everything that you need and just drop her away?
Recommendations are that you can take one at a time, or you can cocktail it and you can make like a cocktail of it and do a little bit of everything that you think you need. That's going to be helpful.
Okay.
There's no like limit on how often to take it either. You take it as needed. Some people just take it first thing in the morning and that's it. Some people take it right at night and that's it. Or I take it whenever I feel like, okay, I'm getting stressed or I'm feeling low on energy. So then I'll take it in the moment.
Okay.
I feel like my focus is working better. Yeah. So I feel like I can, like when people talk for a long time, I start to, space out.
And you're not doing that right now?
I'm not.
Good.
I'm actually hanging on for the whole ride.
That's the thing. I do that too.
Oh.
So it really works.
Your eyes start to glaze over.
They do.
Yeah. So my experience with flower essence since Ashley has introduced it has been incredibly positive. I wish we're not even sponsoring this. Like they're not sponsoring us. We're not. There's no affiliation with Bach whatsoever. Any kind of flower essence or just infusing your own flowers, or even if the conversation helped you realize like oh, the energy that I'm infusing into the food that I'm cooking, or the energy that I'm infusing to the water that I'm drinking, if it just changes your perspective, or it helps you set more intentions, to better your health through those avenues, then.
So go out there and smell the flowers. Take
Yeah.
some flower essence.
All right, guys, that's the conversation for today. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at awakening_souls_podcast. You can email us at rourawakeningsouls@gmail.com. And of course, if you're looking to book one-on-one sessions with either Rose, Ashley, or myself, you can go to sanctuaryreikicenter.com. And then we will go ahead and put in the show notes a link to all of those things, but also to some of the other studies that we talked about, and the Bach product itself. All right, everyone. Bye.
Bye.